Hi, Jonathan. Pleasure to meet you. Hi. Glad it's a pleasure to meet you. Hi. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Oh, go here. Good enough. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Now, imagine this. You're a basketball athlete in your prime, going for a game-saving rebound. But little do you didn't get the chance to notice that someone's standing right in your landing zone. What happens next? You're out for the game. Rolled your ankle, and now you just feel terrible.
But you're not alone in this. According to Mark C. Dracos, a foot specialist, more than 62% of athletes in the NBA suffer from injuries below the waist, and 22 of these are caused by foot or ankle injuries. How can you be an athlete in your prime but have to worry about your future? Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm the CFO.
My name is Eric. I am the CTO.
My name is Joseph. I'm the CEO.
My name is Miles. I am the CMO.
My name is Brendan. I am the secretary.
Basketball athletes struggle with foot fatigue, discomfort, and injuries due to intense movement. A solution was clearly needed to enhance these aspects of the game. So here we have DC Watson. He's a basketball player and he's amazing at the sport. However, he struggles to stay injury-free. Because of this, he isn't able to get his name out there for scouts to see.
Now, our solution is a 4-layer insole that not only brings comfort, support, and shock absorption, but also durability so you can play longer.
How will we get, keep, and grow our audience? First, we will get our audience by using various advertising techniques, such as social media ads, promotions, sponsorships, and the like. We will keep this audience by using our loyalty programs and keeping our community engaged and updated. We will grow this audience by using our referral programs and our seasonal promotions.
What's one thing that humans have always done? Humans have always played. But with play comes injury, and we wanted to explore that idea today with our ad.
Since the dawn of mankind, humans have always done one thing.
Now, once you reach our website, the first thing you will see is our landing page. Now, this gets you signed up to get exclusive and a first time on our insoles. This is a vision of what we have for our 4-layer insole. But if you scroll down, you also see who we are as a business and our mission, vision, and value for the customer.
And this is our advertising campaign. Day 1, we will launch our ads in various social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, if you can name it, we will put it in there, along with a few other websites as well. In day 6, we will track our audience using our analytics and track their demographics, such as their age, their location, interests, etc. In day 9, we will continue working on our ad and discover our demographic. In day 14, we will publish our product with another possible ad.
As a company, we have come up with 4 assumptions. First off, we assume that there is a high demand for basketball insoles in both the competitive and casual play style. Secondly, we assume that the demographic we have chosen perfectly fits our product. Thirdly, we assume that the price that we chose is entirely justifiable and affordable for all athletes alike. And lastly, we believe that our website will gain traction and clicks very quickly. Now moving into our definition of success. We define success as being able to understand our demographic to the T and reflect on the feedback that we are given. We also want our products sold in athletic stores all throughout the state, while also having a high conversion rate when it comes to people visiting our website and making purchases. And lastly, we want to build a strong social media community that will forever grow.
Looking to some key metrics now, we hope to at least sell 1,000 insoles within a month, have 5,000 followers in our social media with 1,000 likes per post, as well as have 1,000 to 2,000 consistent viewership in our websites.
We plan to sell our insoles for around $150. Once we are able to mass produce these insoles, it would cost us around $17.30. The gross margin is 88.47%.
Looking to our market size now, our demographic is high school and college athletes, which is why for our TAM, the United States, we have a demographic of 987,000. For our units sold, we have 2 million, and for our potential revenue, 297 million. Our SAM, being more western states like California, Oregon, or Washington, our demographic is 118,000, with 237,000 units sold, with potential revenue of 36 million. Now for our SOM, the Fresno area, we have a revenue of 1.7 million with a 4.9 conversion rate. Our cost. To start up our company, it would cost $250,000. This is mostly going to our starter inventory, plant, property, and equipment, and marketing. For our first year SG&As, it would go to salaries, marketing, administrative costs, as well as sales and commissions. Now, for our first year, we plan on making $900,000, with our second year being $945,000, and our third year being $1 million.
Now, remembering our story from earlier, this time, imagine you're wearing a pair of sole insoles. Instead of crashing and rolling your ankle, you land effortlessly, almost as if you were walking on the moon, with unwavering stability. That is the difference we make. Ascend beyond limits with Sole. Thank you.
Passphrase, ascend beyond limits with Sole. That's cool. Are you guys going to coin that and just keep that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd like to start by saying how thoughtful you guys presented today. You came out wearing the shirt. In fact, you organized yourselves according to the pictures. I noticed it went in order. It was very thoughtful. Seemed like you've done that a few times to make sure you don't miss it. So starting with the opening problem statement, feedback, where you say, well, imagine you jump and you land and someone's in your zone and you roll your foot. So how would Sole prevent someone from being in your landing space to where you're falling and rolling your foot?
Because if someone were in your landing space, you would practically fall on top of them, and you would lose your balance very quickly, and that could cause a wide variety of injuries. We believe that with the extra support that our insoles provide, it would reduce those chances by a lot.
So what I want to encourage you to consider is to think about how you presented that statement. It should be less about the person standing in your zone and more about maybe just jumping, and because you don't have proper support that you need, you're rolling your ankle. That puts the problem on a lack of support versus the problem being on someone being in your space, and that's why you fall, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just a little tweak that may help make it more powerful. I like how you ended it. You tied it back to the beginning with the ending statement. I thought that was powerful. I do think that mentioning something about the solution in that beginning problem statement could be helpful as well, just as opposed to leaving that suspense where you say, well, just imagine you rolled your foot, right? And then we moved on to the next thing. And then you talked about the goal to sell 1,000 insoles within 1 month. Is there a plan to maybe roll out a few ads and test which ones work the best? Or like, do you have a specific plan on how you want to achieve that, to sell 1,000 insoles in 1 month? Your margins are great, by the way. Those margins are they? Well, I'll come back to that. But let's, with the question at hand, like, do you have a plan to achieve that 1,000 sales in a month?
Well, we do plan on using multiple types of marketing and advertising, such as guerrilla marketing, which we have been doing a lot more research into. And we also want to give out insoles to for people to test them and promote them, and we believe that will give us a lot more traction as well.
How many insoles do you have, your product line? Is it just one, or do you have a series? Do you have maybe 3 or 4 to choose from?
Currently, we only have one, but in the future, we do plan on expanding and based on people's different niches and needs.
And having one's great. It makes your job easier, I guess, because you're not testing 4 different products.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that question. So I would encourage you to consider testing out how customers appreciate. Well, do you have a prototype yet or not?
We do this one.
That's an actual prototype?
Yeah.
Can I see that? I love insoles. I buy insoles for every shoe that almost every shoe. So
That's been a long one done.
Yeah, it would have been nice for you to pass it when you were sharing it, so we can
right. And so with the insoles that I buy, just for perspective, right? Your price point is 100 and how much? 40?
150.
150. So I bought insoles for $25. And what you have there is thicker than what I bought, but what I bought feels fuller, right? So I would encourage you to buy a few insoles from Amazon and see, because if you're going to sell that for $150, you could sell it very well. However, they have to feel like a premium product, right?
Yeah.
It has to feel like I'm buying something that's better than my $25 insoles. That's not bad. That's great for a prototype that's thicker, obviously, right? But I would make sure that you have that actual support that you're selling it based on, right? Just so that you have repeat customers. You don't want bad reviews. Reviews will kill your business if people buy that stuff for $150 and they start writing on your website or Amazon that this sucks, right? You don't want that. Or even if they're comparing you against the $25 insoles and saying this is not any better than the $25 insoles. You don't want that. You want to stand out as the premium product, as the insoles to go for if you want good insoles, right? So you have to spend a lot of time to make sure that's actually going to be a premium product, if that makes sense.
Well, good job. I thought your vocal projection was the best so far of any team. Like, you came out here and I was a little tired from listening to, I was getting a little bit sleepy. You woke me up. So good job on your vocal projection. I also want to comment on the team logo shirt. I think that's a great touch. Just for future maybe presentations, have athletic wear with the logo on all of your shoes and have it so you're walking with them, so I can see you wearing your logo on your shoes with the inserts in it, even though they're not prototyped yet. But it gets me like thinking like, wow, the team is actually has the logo on the shoe, and then just have it like probably print one out and make a space for this logo with it on the shoe. Just saying like, hey, we're wearing our insoles right now, love them, and have like athletic wear match your shirt. Just it'd be a great like cherry on top. So very good job. A couple things I do want to also say too about your opening pitch and throughout your presentation. It felt like a Steve Jobs kind of presentation. You came out and addressed the audience and then stepped back in. Probably the first thing to do that today was to come out in the audience, start talking with hands, and really trying to connect with the audience. I really thought that was a good touch.
Yeah.
That was great. So really, you sold me on it. This is a great sales presentation. And for you to have that edge for sales, because that's business. You have to sell your product. You have to be confident about your product, and that showed in this team. So great job. One of the other things, positive feedback. List the foot injuries and how the product solves those issues. Because I have plantar fasciitis, and if I'm always looking for that insert that solves that problem. So I have plantar fasciitis, and if I find an insert that solves that particular problem I have, I'm more inclined to buy it because you're like, hey, this is how we solve this issue by having a higher arch in the insert, right? So then you can go buy. You'll have other products that address specifically plantar fasciitis, or you have kind of a problem with your heel and you need more support and more pushing your heel. Those are all selling points. I would love to see those lists and how you solve that with your insert, whether it be the next model or that specific model. Just be very specific when you're selling these things, because that's what some of the key things I look at when I'm on Amazon for what my issue is with my foot and how did you address fixing that issue. Other than that, I thought 150 is pretty fair for your product. If it lasts for a year, most inserts I wear, you can disagree, usually it lasts a year, then I have to throw one. That's max. So if it does solve that problem, 150 for solving my foot pain, I think that's a good price point. So don't go any lower. And if you have other models that, like the carbon fiber, that's a huge cost. So if you need to 3D print that, we can do that with some of the printers I can find in town. We can print you carbon fiber. So if you really wanted to go through that process, please talk to me after.
Say yes. Say yes, right? Say yes.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Also, there's the different product lines. I'd love for you to have the next. We're also working on this for specific sports, for basketball, because of high impact and there's something down from jumping, long running, distances, walking. That's where you get into selling more product and increasing your revenue stream. So even though you're still in phase 1 of creating one, just say these are ideas we have in the future to get those investors on board. You're already thinking ahead. So other than that, I thought it was a great revelation. So keep it a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to piggyback off of what he said, right? That specialized, cater to that particular customer, right? Because if you niche it down even more, say you're targeting like NBA athletes, I don't know, football athletes who have some money to spend, right? And you're going in there and customizing to their actual foot, then that could, and you can even get essentially more than 150 because you're solving an actual real problem that they're having and it's specialized, tailored to their foot, right? So, yeah, I would have liked to see some of that, like how would you, because, I suffer from foot pain too and I have to wear a sole, and it's like, how is it going to be catered for my issue? Nice presentation. I love the way that you guys came out and you guys got me engaged. The hand movement, right? You guys weren't shy. I think you guys could have worked a little bit better on the revenue side of things. Really like figuring out your revenues. They need to be a little bit more organized, but overall, it's a pretty good presentation, gentlemen.
Can you go back to your slide just so I can see them?
For which one? The sending? Or
Yeah.
So you guys have startup costs of $250 here.
Yeah.
But then you guys have your sales goods and administrative costs at $450 for the first year. So total cost for the first year is actually what? $7K? That's your actual cost to start.
roughly.
So it's a little bit confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're telling me it's $250K to start, but then over here I'm seeing you guys are you guys have a SG&A cost of $450. It's more than $250 to start.
So did you guys have an acronym in SOL? I was just.
No, but we had a vision of space, how it's like expansive. It's free. It's very like not compressive. So that's what we had with the sole. Something that's not gonna hurt you. Something that's very open. I know with the prototype it's a little big, but we do plan to slim it down and make it more comfortable to wear in your shoe, especially while playing games.
Okay, and speaking of soul, and the same word, different meaning, I always look to see who's the soul of the team, who had this idea. It's not always the CEO, sometimes the CEO is just strict, but whose idea, who started, how this started?
So originally, it was my idea because I myself am a basketball player, and I myself have struggled with foot fatigue and things of that sort, and I really wanted to find a solution for that. So it is my idea.
Okay. I would say it's really important that the soul who came up with it does the testing, so you're a marketing officer, is what I saw. But a more accurate and expenditure is energy towards him, looking at it, checking it out. So you can call him CMO for the sake of the course, but that soul has to stay a part of this soul. Because he's going to test it, he's going to think about it, he came up with it. It's not just that he came up with it. He came up with it out of his real concern, real need. Okay, so that's that on that. You guys think about that. The next thing is, why just basketball? Because REI sells like hike walking. I'm not talking about like extreme hiking. I'm just talking about people that like to go nature hiking. These people hold their ankles all the time because uneven surfaces. Like, I would say just don't limit yourself to your markets, or you might be willing to, instead of having, because Josh brought up a good point, instead of having 4 products, you can get on one and do it well. We'll get on one and call it your soul line basketball, or your soul, name it, brand it, and go for other shoes, because it's an insole. It goes in a shoe and it should work. I would also say really look at whether it's going to prevent a rolled ankle, or don't say it'll prevent a rolled ankle, because you could libel yourself. That means somebody could sue you because they rolled their ankle while wearing, and you don't know what kind of shoe they're putting it in. Like Josh says, he buys insoles on everything. He's wearing Chuck Taylors right now. Chuck Taylors come with no support, not at all. So I hope he's got.
I got insoles on this,
I wore those in my young years, but I can't wear those anymore. There's just nothing there. So, and I buy insoles, and I'm a boot guy. I've even doubled insoles before. Problem is, it gets too high, and the bridge of the shoe starts to press in on the foot. So think about your thickness. What will it go in? You got some work to do on this prototyping and research and working it through. But if you come up with an insole that does more than just the defense against that, because here you saw right here in your 6 judges, one's got plantar fasciitis. She mentioned she's had something. So think about broadening maybe. Mm-hmm. And also your TAM and your SAM. I have not seen as many inventive products in one session as today has already shown 3. Typically we're looking at services, business services, different types of things. 3 products today already. This is important to pay attention to. And Patino stands to gain greatly if a product comes out of Patino and makes it. It's a big deal. So spend the time. When I said the TAM and SAM, when you have a product, you're not limited to California. I know for the sake of the software program, that your course curriculum, you're going to look at the United States, California, and then what's your real, like, attainable market. Don't do that. Not for the real business, because you're going to sell this online and it's going to go nationwide. So you're looking at 300 million people that are in the United States, and I think that's what it is, in the United States of America. And you're sitting in the best market to test, California. You're right in the center of the 5th largest economy in the world. You want to test something. Get with him, Ken, who 3D models, have him 3D model you some stuff. Get them going, get them out there, get this stuff going, start getting the feedback, have this guy run all of your like engineering ideas of like testing, and get with it. I think you guys might have something. That's all for me.
Can I just add one more thing? Have you guys considered talking to a podiatrist?
Actually, we have.
You have?
We have considered it because Mr. Polisari actually suggested it beforehand. And we were looking to get in contact because Mr. Polisari also did mention that he knew someone who could potentially be a mentor for a company.
How did that work out, by the way? No
Uh,
responses? I gave you a name.
too
I can't
sure.
remember email.
I
don't believe we got any contact with them.
Okay, let me follow up with that. Can you remind me?
Yeah.
Just to follow up with the podiatrist. I do have one in town. Her name is Dr. Sarabi. She specializes in diabetic foot treatment and wound care. So please remind me to contact her again. I know she's very busy. She's had a baby, so probably that's probably the reason. So,
all right. Yeah.
So I think when you have that expertise behind your product, that helps you say, well, we've done the research. We can sell it to you for $150, right?
Yeah.
Just that little amount of work can go a long way to giving you that credibility, right? Even if she can put out a statement out there that says this does whatever it is, right? People, it's like Dr. Schultz, right? People look for Dr. Schultz because it has a doctor name on it, right? And then the next thing I wanted to mention, just real fast, is on your ad, it shows a background and it shows a problem, but it doesn't show anything about, maybe I missed this, but it doesn't show anything about solar.
Yeah, so I think what we wanted to do with our ad is, so we wanted to show the problem. We wanted people to know about the problem. And we wanted to say that we're going to end the problem. We wanted them to stay curious, so we would garner more clicks onto our website. That was what that was all about.
Okay. And that's a good idea. Maybe just think about maybe if there's a clever way to put a call to action, something that gets them to say, well, to not leave it on such a downing note to where they see all these broken bones and then it just stops, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that makes them actually want to click on your stuff because they see the problem, but there's no curiosity for the solution. And so if you could just find a clever way to just weave that in, I think that'd be great. Otherwise, it's a great ad.
Thank you.
So, thank you.